Hello and welcome to one of my C# tutorials. So this is going to be part 2 of how to do if statement tasks in C#. If you haven't seen part 1 of my previous video, I have attached a link below this in the description in this video, which I would recommend you watch before you watch this one. And please also to remember click that like and subscribe button, and also, which are both below the video, and spread my channel far and wide. So without further ado, I'm going to go into part 2 of my C# tutorial. So this is the type of thing we're going to be looking at today. So if, else if, and else. Okay? So far we have got a basic task. So we need to predict what the code's going to do when we run it, and run it to see if the prediction is true. So I think if I type in 10, it's going to say thank you. If I type in anything between 10 and 20, it's going to say over 10. Because over 20 is going to tell me it's too high, so that's not a problem. So, and then if I type in anything else, it's just going to say thank you. So I'm going to run it. And as it's C#, it's going to take its time for the code to actually compile. So enter a number. Say I want to enter 10. It's going to say thank you because it's got to be greater than 10. As it's equal to 10, or if it's lower, it's going to say thank you. But I'm going to type 16, so it's over 10, which is fine. I'm going to do another 2 tests, one test for 20, one test for over. 20, still over 10, but because it's equal to 20, hence why we've gone into the if. If I was to do over 20, it's going to say too high. And I don't just mean the song by Stevie Wonder. And like so. So the program works as we predicted. So we've investigated what happens if we go over or under, and it's outputted the results it outputted. So the computational concept being used is selection. So that's the programming construct. And the operator, so this operator, which we've used, which you'll find if num is above 10 or greater than 20, it's the greater than relational or comparison operator. So it's basically saying, is it over 20 or is it over 10? If so, it's going to go into the if or else if. When you see the 2 ampersands, that's the AND logical operator. So now we need to modify the program to put in different numbers in the if statement. So in this one, we won't need, so let's just say we could modify that to have if num is greater than or equal to 10, we say over 10. If we say it's greater than 20, and it's going to say too high, otherwise it's just going to say thank you. So shall we test that? Yes, we shall. Yep, it will take its time to load up. So let's say I decide to do a 10 this time. So we don't need that. So we don't want it equal to, because it'll just print over 10. So should I type in 10, it's going to say thank you, or it's not going to say too high, but it's going to say thank you. So say I wanted to do 16, that's over 10. Say I wanted to do 21. That's over 10, which it shouldn't be. So what we can do is we could say instead, so we could say over 20, we could do an under 10 even. So we could do under 10. So if it's under 10, we could say that's under 10. If it's over 20, we're going to say too high. Otherwise, it's going to say thank you. So let's say I was to do 21. Too high. And let's say I was to do 16. It's going to go into the else because it's not less than 10 and it's not over 20, so it goes in the else. I'm going to try one last one for 10 and under. So I'm going to type in 8. Is it lower than 10? Yes, it is. Under 10. That is our code. Okay? So now what we need to do is make a program that will ask a user what score out of 100 they got in the test. If it's 60 or more, tell them that they passed. Otherwise, we're going to say that they failed. So what I'm going to do, and when you do this yourself, make a new replit and try the code out from scratch. This is just a demo video showing you what you can do. So you could have int, you could have int score, and then you could have in your console.writeLine, enter a score, and then we're going to call that score. So we're going to say is score greater than or equal to 60? We are going to basically say passed. Otherwise, we are just going to say fail. So we don't need this. So we're just going to click run. So think of this as a nice little recap from part 1. For those who've watched it, particularly. Those who haven't, the link is below in the description. So let's say I was to enter a score, 60. You pass, because it's equal to 60. So let's say I'm going to enter 65. It's greater than 60, so that's passed. But what if I got a miserable 48? Well, is it greater than or equal to 60? Let's find out. No, it's not, so it's gone in the else. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the prim task. Brilliant. Now what we need to do on task 7 is create a C# program based on that flowchart. So we're going to input num. So we want int num. So we're going to ask a user to enter a number. And we're going to prompt the user to enter it. So we're going to say, is the number over 100? Is num more than 100? So what we're going to do in there is we're essentially going to say that our number is this. So this is what we're going to say. We're going to say that number is that, but if it's not, we're going to do num equals num plus 100. Okay? And then we are going to tell them what the number is, and then we're going to say we changed it because the number you've entered was too low. So let's run that and see what happens. So we're going to enter, let's say I was to enter 101. It's over 100, so it's printed out the number and it's thanked us. If I was to run that and do a number lower than 100 or even 100. So I'm going to enter 50. So it's not over 100, so it's going to go in the else, add 100 to that, say what the number is, and voila. That is the task. Okay, next one. Next one is, we need to write a C# program, ask users to enter their age. If they're 18 or older, tell them they can vote. If they're 17, tell them they can drive. If they're 16, tell them they can buy a lottery ticket. Otherwise, we're basically going to use this console.write statement. So we're going to do int age, console.write line, enter your age. Age equals convert to int 32. We're going to do console.read line. So if age greater than or equal to 18, console.write line, tell him you can vote. I will do an else here, because that statement I'm going to do, last statement is going to be quite long. So in between if and else, we're going to do else if age, let's say it's equal to 17. Console.write line. You can learn how to drive. Brilliant stuff there. And then what we'll need here is another else if. So if it's 16, so we can say you can enter the lottery or join the army or whatever. So let's run it. Ooh. If I kept that hashtag in there, the program would not have worked due to a syntax error. And yes, C# is going to take its time. So let's say we were to enter 18. It's telling us we can vote. Let's try this again. So I'm going to type in a number that's over 18 now, just to make sure the test condition is true. And it's very important that we do that. So I'm going to enter 20. Yep, that's true. That works. So we know that works. So now I'm going to do 17, 16, and 15. So if they're 17, we are basically going to say we know it's not greater than or equal to 18, so it's going to go into learn how to drive. Next one, we've done 18 and over, we've done 17, so now we're going to type in 16, so it's basically going to say, is it equal to 18? No. Is it equal to 17? No. So 16, you can enter the lottery. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, what if you're actually lower than 16? Ooh, that's where you still need to be in school, boys and girls. So let's have a look. 15, yep, nobody cares if you do a strange cartwheel in public. But hey, you do what you want to do. You can have a McDonald's at 3 AM if you wanted to, and nobody will look at you strangely. But hey, that's besides the point. But let's get on to another one rather than just chinwagging. We need to write a C# program, ask for users to enter two numbers. Num1 is less than num10, num2 is more than num1, add them together, display the answer. Otherwise we say we selected num1 and num2. How are we going to do this? Well, let's try num1, and let's try num1. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to say, we're going to do another one, where we're going to say num2, and I'm going to just put num2 up here. So you want the 2 right there. So you got your 2 inputs. Enter a number, and let's do enter a number, just to make it more meaningful. So now, we want to do something like, so now we want to do num is I can find it. So we want if num1 and num2. So this is what we want. So if num1 is less than 10 and num2 is greater than num1, it's going to go into the answer. If not, we're going to say what numbers we selected instead. So let's have a little look and see what it's going to do. So I'm going to enter 15 and 4, selected 15 and 4. So I'm going to enter 4, 15, answers 19. So let's add the 2 up to give us 19. So those are the conditions that we need. So we're going to enter a number below 10. So I'm going to enter a number above 10, and I'm going to make sure it's smaller than num1. So I'm going to enter 12, I'm going to enter 11, set to 12 and 11. And that is the task, right there. Now, we just need to go on to the next one. And that next one is, write a C# program that asks users for their name, ask it again, and then finally ask them to enter a number. If they enter a number exactly the same each time, or the number's over 100, display thank you. Otherwise, we display goodbye. So how we do that? Ooh, it's going to be strings this time. So we're asking users to enter our name. Then we're going to ask them to enter a number. So we got String.Equals, name 1 and name 2. So it's basically saying, are those two names the same? And what we've got here, they are OR. That's an OR logical operator here. Okay? So in the OR logical operator, it's basically saying, are they the same or is it over 100? So I'm going to enter my name, different way, and I'm going to enter that's number 1. So that's goodbye. That's one condition. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Dan, and 1. It's going to say thank you. The names are the same, but the number is less than 100. So I'm going to try Dan, Danny, and a number over 100. 102. It's going to say thank you. Then I'm going to try Dan, 102. So we've done all 4 of those tests. So when we go down here, so I have done all 4 of those tests, ready to go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will get up to, because in part 3, I'm going to go into nested conditionals. So stay tuned for part 3. So please be sure to hit that like, and please also remember to hit that subscribe button. And another way to subscribe is to just click on this link, which is below each video I place. And if you like my content and you want to find out more about what I do, I've also got an online course called Introduction to Computer Systems on the Udemy website. So you just need to click on it. And there we go. So this is my online course, Introduction to Computer Systems. So this is the landing page for that course. So in it, you will learn. So these are some of the things we'll learn, like explaining the role of the central processing unit, describe the components of the CPU, provide an introduction to assembly language, which is low-level programming, explain the factors that affect the performance of the central processing unit, and I've also put in another bit that I'm interested in, the physics of overclocking the CPU, which made me develop an interest in electronics and also physics. So there's a lot more to it than even we realized. So this is the course content. So you've got computer systems, so I'm introducing you to it. Then I'm going into the different forms of architecture and assembly language. Then I'm going into the factors that affect it and the physics of overclocking the CPU. And then I'm going into logic, so combinational logic systems, making the logic gates, sequential logic systems, semiconductors. Then I go into all things binary, where we introduce you to number systems, all the way down to doing binary and sound, images and text. And then finally we got input and output devices and the different forms of storage, so that's where memory will come in. And then my assessment is basically one big quiz of 30 questions. So you don't need any knowledge to do this course. All you need is a computer with stable internet connection. So that's all you really need there. And why you should do the course? Well, whatever I don't know, I'll go out and learn it. So the way my brain is wired is I'm on the autism spectrum. So it will be an asset in helping you get through the online courses that we provide. So we understand how to explain things in simple terms due to my teaching background. So you could think of us as a real-life version of, say, a Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory, minus the rudeness, or a C-3PO, but without the glitches. So I'm on the autism spectrum, so we're on the autism spectrum and have a rough idea on how to talk to them and relate to them. And my teaching style is that style I've crafted, and one that works in a way that some people don't get if they only had tuition in the classroom or just want to study the subject a lot more. So this course provides you with the opportunity to go further than you would in the subject that you want to pursue. So those are some of the reasons why you should consider buying this online course, because once you buy it, it's yours for a lifetime. For some of my videos, I will go through programming tasks. So if you want to do these yourself, I have put a REPL link below on my programming videos. So you just click on REPL, and this is what you need if you haven't signed up at all. So you just click sign up. If you've got an account, you just click login, and once you've logged in or signed up, this is the page that will appear. So if I was to log in right now, this is the page, so this will appear. So that will be the page there. And in addition to all that, I am also a private tutor where I offer my private tutoring services specializing in ICT and computer science. And I look forward to you coming to me for lessons. Goodbye for now.